Hello, good morning, and thank you very much for joining this session. Just a few questions before we start. So there is a chat that is available for you, the participants. We do have a YouTube session, so this session will be recorded and you can watch it afterwards in any case that you were not able to join this session. Thank you so much. So we have representatives of the UK universities this time to talk to you a little bit about the great scholarships. We will also have a Q&A session towards the end. So we do encourage active participation from you. If you have any questions towards the specific universities, the process of application for a great scholarship, do put them in the Q&A. So you will have a Q&A session that is open in your chat. So please use the Q&A function so that we can actually go through those questions and answer them correctly. So towards the end as well, if you would like to open your mic and just ask the question to any of our participants, myself or the representatives of UK universities, you're more than welcome to do so. So thank you again. Thank you so much. So I will quickly just start by sharing a little bit about what the UK or what the great scholarships are and what you can expect from a UK scholarship in this context, in the great scholarships. So let me quickly share my screen with you. Thank you so much. So thank you. So first of all, I would like to talk a little bit about the Great Scholarship process. So these are scholarships that are fully funded by the British Council. This is a yearly scholarship. So this is open every single year, usually from January to April or May, depending on the university deadlines. So please do check out the website. I will put the website towards the end in the chat so that you can actually have a look at the website and the universities that are open for this year. I also want to remind you that this is the first of 2 webinars that we're organizing for the Great Scholarships. As you know, there are 13 universities that are open for the United Kingdom this year. So in this webinar, we will have the first half, and then the second webinar, that is the 5th of March, we'll have the remaining UK universities who are offering Great Scholarships. So what they are, first of all, I would like to tell you a little bit about the UK, so that for those that usually mistake the UK with one country, that is England. So the UK is actually formed by 4 nations. So we have England, we have Wales to the left, we have Scotland at the top, and then we have Northern Ireland. So this is very important for you. So that's why I want to give you this kind of overview, because especially in this webinar, we will have representatives of both countries. So we will have England and Scotland. So one of the things that is beneficial about the UK is once you go there as a student, with your visa, you're freely able to travel within those 4 nations. So that doesn't mean that if you're studying in England, you have to stay in England, so you can travel freely to Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Although they are very similar, so they all speak the same language, etc. Every single nation has its own similarities and differences. So this is a bit of what to expect in the United Kingdom. Studying in England is the most populous country in the United Kingdom. So you will have about 134 higher education institutions with a student population quite high. So the universities that we have today, they are pretty much all over England. So that is something else that we want to emphasize. So we want, there's London, obviously, which I think most of you will associate, but the universities that we have today, they are not in London. So they are a bit all over England. And you will hear a little bit about them in the future. Also, the United Kingdom is a rather small country compared to Mexico. So Mexico is huge. The number of universities that are present in the United Kingdom is massive. So that is something that we do want to emphasize. About 80% of international students that go either to England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, or Wales are extremely happy with their student experience. So the United Kingdom is one of the top destinations in terms of postgrad studies in Latin America. Mexico actually is the #1 country in Latin America. So we send approximately 1,800 to 2,000 students yearly to the UK to do either masters, undergrad exchanges, postdoctoral studies, doctoral studies, etc. So Mexico is actually the #2 destination after the US, sorry. Studying in Scotland, so Scotland is obviously smaller than the UK, than England, sorry. But there are 19 world-leading institutions that are actually in Scotland. So from colleges to universities, to conservatoires, to different kind of institutions that you have in Scotland. There are about 50,000 international students. And despite the size of Scotland, you will have about 180 different nationalities represented in just the student body. So as you see, the UK, both England and Scotland, they are extremely multicultural. Scotland, as well as in England, you offer different locations. So if you're interested in a big university, if you're interested in a rural campus, if you're interested in something smaller, you will have access to pretty much everything. Scotland is known for festivals, so they have quite a few festivals yearly, so over 300 festivals, from music, literature, theater, pretty much everything that you can think of, it's there. Reasons to study in the UK. So the UK constantly is ranked in the top global ranking of universities. So if you actually go to the most common well-known rankings, which is, for example, Times Higher, The Guardian, etc., most of the UK universities will always be in the top 100 or the top 200. The UK also offers a very rich cultural experience, a very welcoming country, a very welcoming way and culture, and you will obviously discover you will have not only staff, but also students. They are massively multicultural. So the likelihood that your classroom will be shared by people from pretty much all over the world is a likelihood. Excellent employment prospects. So obviously one of the UK, it doesn't matter what UK university you choose, having a degree from a UK university is a very well-known and respected degree all over the world. So the prospects for employment obviously would increase by being a graduate of a UK university. It's the best in science, research, and innovation. So this is regardless the country in the UK that you are. The UK is one of the world's most trusted and innovative countries. It's consistently in the forefront of science, culture, finance, education, etc. So although it's a very small country, is still exerting a lot of influence in a lot of the fields in research, innovation, and forefront of scientific research. It's also home to the Russell Group that probably you have heard of. So it's most of the well-known universities that are well-known for world-leading research. Strong links with industry, so that is something that probably you will hear a bit more in the conversations with universities here, but many multinational companies and many UK degrees actually offer placements or volunteering positions during your study with industries that are based in the city where you are. So that's another benefit of having a UK education. You also have the option of staying in the UK after you graduate. The Great Scholarship, which is the one that you're listening now and that we're going to present, it does allow this form. So remember, there are certain scholarships that don't allow you to stay. The Great Scholarship does allow you to apply for the UK graduate route, in which you can apply to stay in the UK for up to 2 years. So if you go for a master's degree, it's 2 years, and if you go for a PhD, it's up to 3 years. So this route is completely unsponsored. The only thing that you need is to complete your academic degree. So the university will basically inform you that you're able to apply for the graduate route. So this is something that is allowed in the Great Scholarship Program. So what we're looking for a Great Scholar, and those of you that are attending here, you need to have an undergraduate degree. You need to be motivated, especially in the area of study that you're applying. You need to meet the English requirement of each university and each program that you're applying. You also need to establish some sort of engagement through either personal, professional, through the community of scholars. So we do have a community of scholars of previous and future holders of the Great Scholarship. Be willing to attend networking events. So the British Council in London, in Edinburgh, in Wales, in Cardiff, and in Manchester do offer certain networking events for great scholars that are based in the UK at that time. So you will receive sometimes an invitation, sometimes us in the Americas also do those kind of events. So you may hear from us, well, from myself that is based in Mexico, to kind of reconnect with you. And you should be willing to maintain this kind of contact. And obviously we would also ask you to work as an ambassador sometimes for the university where you studied, or sometimes for us in the British Council. What is the scholarship in a nutshell? So we offer £10,000. So this is a fixed fee. And this is an amount of money that will go towards tuition fees only. So this is important for you to know. So this is not money that you will receive physically. So this is money that we in the British Council transfer to the universities that are now open for the Great Scholarships. Is a 10,000 discount on your student fee. The scholarships are offered only for postgraduate taught level only. So you do need to move to the UK. You do need to go there and study a 1-year master's. Most of the UK masters in the UK are 1 year anyway. The deadline for each grade scholarship will vary by university. So in the end, I will put the link. But most of the universities will close applications between April and May, sometimes June, depending on how flexible they are. And you can apply for a grade scholarship even if you're studying an undergraduate degree. So if you haven't graduated, most of the universities, and that will be covered with the ones that we have here today, will allow you to apply even if you don't have the degree, as long as you have finished all your academic credits and you meet all the other eligibility requirements, you can apply for the grade scholarship. You can also apply to more universities than one. So that is a question that we usually have. So for this year, we have 13 universities that are open in Mexico. You can apply for several. Most of them open a few programs. Some of them open all of their master programs. So please do check the website. Do go to the university website, check the programs that they are open, find the country. So I will put the link in the chat of the great scholarships. You basically find Mexico. It will give you a breakdown of all the universities that are open for Mexico. It will take you to the university website. And then from there, you can actually choose the list of programs that are open to apply. One thing that is important, all the application process is handled by universities. It's not handled by us in the British Council. So this is the reason why we brought the university representatives, so that you can actually hear from them. And every single question throughout your application, admission process is directly with the universities themselves. So we are not in any way, the British Council, involved in selecting you as an admission part of your program into the university. So please, everything has to be dealt with the universities. To apply, you obviously need to fulfill each requirement of the university. Shortlisted applicants sometimes maybe ask for interviews. Again, this will depend by university. But the idea is that if you apply now, you're willing to start your master's in September, October 2025. That is usually the start of the academic year in the UK. So do bear in mind, those are more or less the timelines that we have in the UK. And if you have any questions regarding scholarships or anything else, this is my contact. So you can send me an email and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. So without further ado, I would like to pass now on to the representatives of universities. So if we can start maybe with Aberdeen, please, Francesca.
Hello, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope you can understand my accent. My family is actually from Italy, and so I'm used to trying to speak a bit more slowly, because I know that in Scotland sometimes we have a very strong accent. But let's see how I do with being understood. If I'm going too fast, just say slow down. So Aberdeen University is a really, really old university. Sometimes people call us the Harry Potter University. Not officially, because we are so old, and we've got this lovely old campus that dates back to 1495. And I don't know if people know about history, but in Europe in 1495, that's when we had the Borgias, who was that terrible pope in Rome who had a wife and he had children, and they were poisoning each other and killing each other. So he was actually the pope who said, yes, go ahead and have the university. So I like thinking about that. And I think that's a cool thing to have. But yes, as you were saying earlier, in Aberdeen, we have a lot of students from different countries. And that's part of the beauty, I think, of being in a campus-based university like Aberdeen, is that there are people from all around the world. And being such an old university, we've had a long time to practice and get things right. So it won't come as any surprise to know that we're a highly ranked university. And the actual ranking depends on which company it is that you're looking at. The location of Aberdeen, now I can't see the map myself because I've got all the pictures of everybody here. Oh, hang on, I can move that. Right. So Aberdeen is here. It's in the northeast of Scotland. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. We have the sea on the right-hand side, and then on the left and above us, we have the mountains. I don't know why I chose a map with no other cities. That wasn't a very clever thing to do. But from Aberdeen, it's very easy to get to the rest of the UK. It takes about an hour to fly to London, or I'm not sure if you can see my pointer, but Glasgow, which is over here, and which is where my family lives, you can get there in just over 3 hours. And Edinburgh, which is our capital city, and it's here somewhere, that takes 2.5 hours. And if you take the train, it's a lovely, lovely journey because you're actually coming down the coast here. Very, very pretty. So if you do come to Aberdeen, and if you take the train, sit on the left, because from there you'll see the sea all the way down. It's absolutely gorgeous. The entry requirements that we have from Mexico, you can see them here. You can apply at any time up to, if you're not going for the scholarship, you can apply up until the end of August normally. We've learned to be flexible. Not only are we highly ranked in a lovely safe place and very friendly, but we've had to learn to be flexible. So you need to apply by the deadline that the Great Scholarship have said, which I think is the middle of May for Aberdeen. But if you miss that or you're not successful in the scholarship, you can still apply right up until the end of August, sometimes the beginning of September as well. Now, the subjects that we offer the scholarship for in Aberdeen, you can see them here. They cover a big spectrum. Aberdeen University actually offers subjects all across the spectrum in so many different subjects. So if you are interested in one of these and you want to apply for us, then please do. The application deadline, as I said, is the middle of May if you want to have the Great Scholarship opportunity. And you need to have an unconditional offer by the time that you apply. So it means, you need to maybe get a move on if you were thinking that you might have more time. But the important thing that I wanted to say about the £10,000 is that the £10,000 for Mexican students can very easily become £18,000. Now you say, why is this crazy woman telling me that £10,000 can become £18,000? Well, that's because this year, for the first time, the university is offering students who are doing the one-year postgraduate programs an £8,000 scholarship. Now, this £8,000 scholarship is automatic. So as long as you are not fully funded from somewhere else, you will get that £8,000 discount, which means that the lucky person that gets the £10,000 scholarship from British Council will, in fact, get an £18,000 discount on their tuition fees. As I said, if you're unlucky and you don't get the British Council scholarship, you will still get the £8,000 from Aberdeen. So you're never totally at a loss. Like many universities in the UK, there's lots and lots of activities that you can get involved in. And although the master's programs are very intense, we do recommend that you take the opportunity to do other things. We've got lots of sports clubs. There are all sorts of different campaigns you can get involved in. You can do, within the sports club itself, there's a great big arena, big sports arena just next to the university, and you can get involved there at a very simple level. Well, like me, if you're not that good at sports, you can still try things out for the social side of things. But if you are good at sports, we also do compete at very, very high levels. The social side of sport, as I was saying, is something that's very important at the university, and you don't have to, be fit and full of energy if you just want to try things out. I think that's really what I wanted to say there. The sports village that I was talking about also has a big aquatic centre with an Olympic-sized swimming pool where the Olympic team actually comes to practice, and they've also got one of these things where you can jump into the pool, which is, I find it very, very terrifying, but some people enjoy it. One of the problems we don't have at the university, which I'm very happy about, is we have no problems with accommodation. Now, there's a big long story. Almost 10 years ago, that we did have a problem with accommodation, and so we ended up building accommodation and also getting into partnership with lots of different organisations. And it means that now you're almost guaranteed to find the place that you like very, very quickly. And there's lots of different options. The one I'm showing you the pictures of here on this slide is our student village. And that belongs to the university, it's run by the university, and it's about a 10 or 15-minute walk from the university. But if you don't like the idea of being in a little village just with lots of students, another option you can have is being on campus. Some people like that. I find it a little bit creepy, I have to say, because I'll tell you why. Remember at the start I told you they call us the Harry Potter University sometimes. Well, in the winter when it gets dark at 4 p.m, do you really want to be on a campus with Harry Potter buildings? I'm not brave enough to do it. Some people do it if they like peace and quiet, but it wouldn't be my first choice. What I would probably choose to do is what my son did. He was at Aberdeen University, and he stayed in a flat with a private landlord, which was halfway between the campus and the city centre. Because although we are a beautiful, very, very old Harry Potter campus, it's only about 20 or 25 minutes walk from that campus right into the city. So if you live halfway between the two, you're a 15-minute walk from the university or a 15-minute walk into the city, into the main central station, into the shops and bars and all the things that a city has to offer. So this is not me. My name is Francesca. Frances is my colleague. She's the regional manager for the Americas. I'm actually the regional manager for South Asia. But she's away doing something this evening and wasn't able to join you. But if you do have any questions, please do email Frances, and she'll be very, very happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Francesca, for the lovely introduction. I may be a bit biased. I'm an Aberdeen graduate, but I think this replicates to a lot of. I'm a Leicester graduate as well, so the Midlands of England. So I think what you said replicates a lot about the UK. So it's very a very easy to reach city. So most of the universities that we have here do have that. So I will pass it now to Joe from the University of Hull.
Thanks very much, Liz. And thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, my name's Joe. I'm the regional officer for Latin America here at the University of Hull. So today, really, I just wanted to give you a bit of an introduction to Hull and about our programmes that we've got available for the Great Scholarship this year. But generally, the first question that I get asked is, where is the University of Hull? So we are on the east coast of England. So I don't know if you can see here, just about half an hour away from some of the beautiful English coastline. But Hull,
Sorry,
we always
Joe,
say,
we're not seeing your presentation.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's fine.
That'll be a lot easier.
There you go. Now we can.
There we go. Perfect. Yes, there you go. Now you can see on the east coast of England. So we're along a sort of central belt of cities in the UK, so like Leeds, Manchester, Liverpool, and York. And it makes us really well placed to explore the rest of the UK. So we know that everyone, when they do come to study in the UK, wants to make sure that they explore as much as possible. So it makes it really easy to do that. We're just 2.5 hours away from London, so perfect for a day trip with a few local airports as well. We also have a ferry port, so we're really well connected to Rotterdam and Amsterdam. You can get an overnight ferry with live music and all sorts of fun and wake up in Rotterdam the next day. So the city of Hull is not the most well-known city in the UK, but it's more recently started to get a lot of the recognition that it deserves for its celebration of culture, diversity, for its independent small businesses that are thriving in the city. These are just a few of the most recent articles that have come out and a couple of older things that we've been awarded. But it's just to highlight that although Hull is not the most well-known city, it is a real up-and-coming place that is has a lot going on for a small city. So one of the most important things I think to know about Hull is that it is the UK's most affordable city. Rent and accommodation on average is 76% lower than London. So it's a good job there's no one on here from London today. We always like to say that, you know, the less money you can spend on your essentials like accommodation, like your food, like your bills, the more money you have to go out and enjoy your international experience, and really make up the most of your time in the UK. So as a university, we are one of the oldest in the country, founded in 1927. We're very fast approaching our 100th anniversary. So we've got a really long history of academic excellence. If you come to our campus, you'll see buildings like the one on the right, the traditional red brick collegiate buildings, but we've also got ongoing investment into our campus to make sure we have the most up-to-date facilities, to make sure students have the best possible chance of succeeding. So whether that's in our accommodation, our library, our gym, and all of the online resources that we have as well, we're making sure that although we're a very traditional university, we're really keeping up with the times. We are a university of around 15,000 students, and now at a point where over 20% of our students are international. So it is a very diverse campus. We're a one campus university as well. So that means that all of those students are in one place, and you can really feel that walking around the campus and the surrounding areas. Even the close by student district has become a much more diverse place with international supermarkets and restaurants and cafes. And just something to note as well, we achieved TEF Gold in 2023. So that is an index based on a few different results that come out about universities, and gold is the highest possible ranking you can achieve in that. Around top 20% of universities in the UK achieved that gold status, and it's down to a lot of things, but I think the main sort of two that stand out to me are our curriculum. Our curriculum was developed with industry leaders in different areas all across the university. And we essentially asked employers, what would you like our students to be able to do when they graduate? So all of our courses are designed with employability in mind. And they're also designed with international students in mind. We know that studying a master's degree in the UK is going to be very different from studying a bachelor's degree in Mexico. So all of our programs are designed that as an international student or a home student, you come in on a level line so that everyone is equal going into the start of that course. So we are a really comprehensive university, and for our Great Scholarship this year, every single one of our postgraduate taught programs is eligible for the Great Scholarship, and I'll get onto that in a moment as well. But we have 4 different faculties. So our Faculty of Arts, Culture and Education. We have some amazing facilities across all of these programs, including the most state-of-the-art music recording facilities and a TV studio for our theatre and film students. We have our Faculty of Business, Law and Politics, where our double accredited Hull University Business School sits, as well as some amazing programs in things like international law, that are really built, like I said, with the international student in mind. Our Faculty of Health Sciences is one of the buildings that big amount of investment went into, with some amazing mock wards, like you're in a hospital while you're studying, and our Faculty of Science and Engineering, where a lot of the most cutting edge work is done, with some amazing new facilities that we've built as well. So the reason that all of our programs are eligible for the Great Scholarship is because they all link to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we are really passionate at Hull about creating a brighter, fairer, carbon neutral future. And these are goals that I think align really well with what the British Council are doing day to day as well, especially with social justice and equality and inclusion. All of our programs, whether it's music, whether it's business, whether it's artificial intelligence, all of them are designed with these sustainable development goals in mind, so that the students that study with us can be working towards making the world a better place throughout their time at university. So like I said, I just want to highlight a couple of the sort of most popular areas of our university. Firstly, the business school with a big variety of different programs is double accredited with double ACSB and AMBER. And that's on top of all of the individual programs, different accreditations as well. Our science and engineering programs, for example, AI and data science, we've built a brand new centre for data science, AI and modelling. We have one of the most powerful supercomputers in the country, some amazing virtual reality environments and different things to use in those programs as well. So for entry requirements in Mexico, so we ask for entry to the programs is the equivalent of a 2-2 UK degree. But for our Great Scholarship applications, we do ask for 8 or 80% in your degree, so just slightly higher than our standard entry requirements. We do have an English language requirement as well. We accept a lot more than just IELTS, so there is lots of different varieties of tests that you can take that are a lot less stressful than IELTS and sometimes easier to get an appointment and definitely more affordable. So these are our fees for 2025. So we have some relatively affordable fees for our programs. So particularly with that £10,000 scholarship, it can bring the price down of those programs to a really, really, really affordable amount. They do vary across different programs, but all around a similar price to what they start from there. Our scholarship applications are open until the 30th of May, and you would complete a series of essay questions for that. But all of the information is on our website as well. So just a last thing I wanted to mention about the University of Hull is that when you study here, you are not just a number, you are a student that we care about and want to succeed. Like I said, we have a really good understanding of the fact that studying in the UK could be very different to studying in Mexico. So we make sure that you're supported throughout your full journey at university. From an academic side, you'll get a personal supervisor who can guide you throughout the year, and a skills team who can support you with things like essay writing and referencing. And we have a whole host of different support teams as well, from careers to help you get a part-time job while you study, or to support you with getting a job after you graduate. Immigration advice, so if you have any questions about visas before you arrive in the UK, there's always someone to help. But really, I think it just sums up the university as a whole, with all of our different support services, that we really want to make sure students are successful as possible when they come to study with us. So that is everything from me. So thank you very much for listening, everyone.
Thank you so much, Joe, and thank you for sharing that. There are some questions that we will try to answer at the end, so please do keep posting the questions if you have anything. There are some general questions that we will go back to each university when the presentations are finished. So we can now pass to Sam from Central Lancashire. Thank you.
Thank you, Lizzie. Really appreciate you having me along today, and everyone. It's really good to see you all. It's quite interesting listening to Joe there, because I think A, we could be siblings looking at each other, and B, I think that the University of Central Lancashire is very similar to the University of Hull, both in terms of maybe not being as well known as other universities, and part of today is to make you more aware of us. And in terms of our kind of goals and investment in our university. So it was really nice to see. And we're not actually too far away from Hull, just across the other side of the country. So the University of Central Lancashire, we are almost 200 years old. So we've been around for quite a while, coming up for our 200th anniversary. And what I love the most about our university is that whilst we are an historic university in our corner of the United Kingdom in the northwest of England, we are a university that is very forward-thinking, very keen to develop our curriculum, very keen to develop our facilities, and we've had around £200 million of investment in the university infrastructure over the last 3 to 4 years. What you see behind me in my virtual background is our kind of centerpiece of that development. It's our student center, sits at the heart of our campus in the city of Preston. So the University of Lancashire, Central Lancashire, which actually when you join will be changing its name to the University of Lancashire, but I won't be confusing you too much about that today. This sits right at the heart of the city of Preston, and that's where our main campus is located. And this has been able to kind of unite all of the different campus buildings around one focal point. That sits alongside our state-of-the-art Engineering Innovation Centre, our CSI village. So we actually have a full crime scene investigation set up with crime scene labs and flats and garages for our forensic science students to practice. We have a brand new veterinary school due to formally open this spring, although we've been teaching veterinary medicine for the past 2 years, and huge investment in our holistic facilities such as our Oasis Spirituality and Multi-Faith Centre and our Sports Centre and Sports Arena. We add to that state-of-the-art facility with a huge range of courses, and we have 10 academic schools in total, which we will talk about a little bit more towards the end of this presentation, but a huge variety of programs for you at postgraduate level. And as part of the Great Scholarship, whilst you will see from our website on the British Council, we have highlighted 3 of our schools, Arts and Media, our Business School and our Engineering and Computing School. Our full portfolio is available to you as great scholars to apply towards. So there is a huge scope for you in our postgraduate portfolio. We are traditionally a vocational university. So in a prior life, we were a polytechnic and we became a full university post 1992. What that means to a lot of our courses and our curriculum is that we are very practical in our delivery. You will find that our classes aren't necessarily geared around exams and end of term assessments. It's a continuous assessment model around project work, group work, but also being able to get you access to industry and either working on live briefs for employers or going out into the world of work on an internship or a placement. So we are very vocational. Employability is one of our core pillars. We want you as graduates of the University of Central Lancashire to be able to attain the job of your dreams. And you'll find that 95% of our international student graduates are going on to either further study, whether that be research, PhD, or more masters, or going into employment. And we work with a huge array of employers locally, big companies such as British Aerospace, BAE Systems, with the BBC and Sky News out of Media City in Manchester, with football clubs such as Everton, Liverpool, rugby clubs such as Wigan Warriors, and a huge array of other smaller companies. But on an international scene, the European Space Agency, NASA, the United Nations, among some of our kind of more stellar opportunities for you. We also pride ourselves as a university on being very welcome. We're home to around 26,000 students on our main campus in Preston, of which a quarter of that is made up of international students. So around 6,000 students are international from over 100 different countries. We're ranked in the top 3 universities in the UK for mental health support for students, and number 1 for the satisfaction that students have with that mental health provision. We wrap around our academic studies for you a suite of support services, including personal academic tutors, student coaches, our careers team, our student finance, and our international support services, as well as already previously mentioning our multi-faith centre, and obviously access to physical well-being through our sports facilities as well. So in terms of where we are located in the country, we are actually a multi-campus university, but our main campus is located in the city of Preston, which is in the county of Lancashire. We are the largest provider of higher education services in Lancashire. And I'll be very biased. I do believe that the Preston campus is possibly one of the best located campuses for you in the United Kingdom, because we are almost central within the country. So Between ourselves and London, it's a direct train of slightly over 2 hours. It's about 2 hours and 9 minutes direct into London Euston. And if you wanted to head up to Edinburgh in Scotland, we're only 2 hours and 34 minutes by direct train. That ride in particular, the ride down to London, I wouldn't necessarily say is the most pretty, but you're excited about going down to London, so that's fine. But the ride up by train to Edinburgh is stunning, passing by the Lake District, which is England's largest national park, somewhere that you can easily explore from our campus by train. And we form a triangle between the kind of key cities in Lancashire. So ourselves as the county seat, so it's where the council, the local council is located in Preston, so a very important city regionally, but we're approximately 40 minutes by train to both Manchester and Liverpool. So you have amazing experiences with these, you know, fantastic, very historic cities, cultural phenomenons that both of them are in their own rights. Great experiences to be had with art, media, culture, cuisine, sport in those. The benefit of a place like Preston, it's a very small and compact city. Pretty much I would call it a college town, where the university sits right at the centre of the city, is at the heart of the community, and is a very important pillar within the local area. So very well respected, very welcoming environment for you, but also very easy to navigate and get around. This drone video should hopefully kind of emphasize that a bit more. So with my laser pointer, we have the beautiful student center and student square. This is where our final graduation celebrations take place. This large black building is our engineering center. The green and gray building here is our media factory for all of our TV and music production. You have our computing labs and suite here. Our library open 24/7 during term time. This is the crime scene village, so our crime scene forensic science apartments that you can utilize as students. You have our arts building. This is the Victoria building. Now, on the outside, doesn't look the most impressive. For me, it's a stunning building inside because it's about 4 floors of interdisciplinary learning, from our fashion design suites, interior design suites, photography dark rooms, our graphics design, our ceramics workshops, our printing presses. So many amazing traditional and modern forms of art and media take place in there. Here you have our medical and dental school, and behind that our physiotherapy and nursing school. Our business school is located in this building with the Silver Tower, also home to our sports school for all of our performance analysis suites. And just behind here, where the construction is taking place, it's a slightly older drone video, but this is where our veterinary school is currently taking its final shape. What I like about the campus, it is large, 26,000 people, does sound like a lot, but it feels very homely. It is very compact, and you may see these buildings here, the red brick, grey tiled roof buildings on this side as well, back here and back here. This is all of our student accommodation. So everything is in one location. You are a part of a thriving student community that is very active during the term time, so much going on, and everything is walkable. I think that's the most beautiful thing about it. You don't need to take buses or personal private transport to get around. Everything can be reached on foot, and that includes the city centre. You'll see that Preston is also very green. So there are lots of green open spaces. In fact, back here, this tree-lined area is our largest public park. That's Moore Park. On the edge of that is Preston North End Football Club, one of the founding members of the Football League. If you're interested in soccer, their home is Deepdale. They're not like Manchester United or Manchester City, but they were the first invincible team in English football. So the first team to go undefeated. You're talking way back in the late 1800s, and the first team to do the double of the league and the FA Cup. So we'll still hold on to that, even though that was almost 150 years ago. And then on the periphery, you can see in the distance, this is the countryside. This is the Forest of Bowland area of natural beauty. And then way off in the distance, the mountains that you might make out in the back here, that is looking towards the Lake District, the largest national park in England. So there's lots of green outdoor activities that you can take part in as well. The city of Preston, being a small city, may think there's not a lot going on. There is so much going on. We've been ranked in the top 20 student cities in the UK. There is a lot for you to do. There are food vendors from all over the world. You can have cuisine from the Far East, the Middle East, from North and South America, the Caribbean, and from Africa. We've just opened a brand new £45 million multiplex cinema, bowling alley, and food court complex right at the heart of the city, literally 5 to 10 minutes from the campus, from my office on campus. It's literally a 5-minute walk. So this is really going to increase the amount of activities that you'll be able to do, and also potential part-time job opportunities for you, adding to the number of restaurants and services that we have in the city. We have also been named, Leslie mentioned about the opportunity for you to consider staying in the UK longer term, been ranked as the second best city in the UK for graduates to live in. I think one of the reasons for that is that, as mentioned, we're very well connected with the train lines around the country, and with kind of hybrid working opportunities, the possibility of securing employment in cities like Manchester or Liverpool, but having this wonderful lifestyle of living in a small compact city surrounded by coast and countryside, I think makes Preston a very attractive location to live, maybe raise a family, like myself and my wife are doing. It is a great area of the world in the UK, I think, to kind of do that in. Preston is also the only city in Lancashire to have a purple flag. This is a national award. We've received this award for the past 10 years. Actually, no, going back to 2011. So over 10 years, it's given to cities in the UK that can demonstrate a very safe but very vibrant nighttime economy. So if you like to go out, if you like to go out for dinner, if you like to go to the movies, if you like to go to the bars, the restaurants and the clubs, if you want to do that, we have it in abundance, and you can be assured that it has this national award recognition. So there's a lot to see and do. I think additionally on that kind of social scene, we mentioned we have sports facilities. We have a range of different sports clubs that you can take part in, either for fun or if you do want to compete. Of course, in the United Kingdom universities, we have the British Universities and Colleges sports leagues. Some of our more, I would say, successful sports. We have basketball for men and women, we have American football, we have soccer for men and women. We also are home to a very good rugby league setup, being the northwest of England in particular, but the whole of the north of England, including over in Hull where Joe is. Rugby league is kind of a religion in this part of the world, so it's a very popular sport across university campuses as well. The Students' Union do put on a lot of activities, and as I mentioned before, we are kind of a community beacon. So we are host to Lancashire's biannual science fair that takes place every 2 years in May. We're home to various film festivals, bearing in mind our connections that our university has with the Far East and India. We're always hosting events. We have a very prominent Japanese society that hosts an annual Japanese Day. There is so much going on that you can be involved and take part in. And our clubs and societies are constantly growing as the diversity of our student population increases. We have 2 shopping malls within the city. So there's basically everything that you need. St George's is probably the more prominent of the 2. That's home to many clothes shops, stationery shops, music shops, and other restaurants that you can try. Leisure-wise, mentioned the brand new multiplex and bowling alley. We also have indoor laser tag. We have our indoor mini golf. We have the axe throwing, the darts. There's a lot that you can do within the city. But those efficient transport links, being 40 minutes to Liverpool or Manchester, that opens up a world of opportunities when it comes to, weekend or evening activities. And I think Manchester and Liverpool nowadays, with the arenas that they have, you're able to see in the north amazing acts. I know a lot of my colleagues and students were very glad that they were able to go down to Liverpool last summer and see Taylor Swift, for example. So, if you're into your music, if you're into your movies, if you're into your sport, there's so much going on across the Northwest, and we are so close to all of it. It's very easy to access. When you're considering us amongst other universities, I think value for money, of course, we're talking about having a great scholarship, and we're able to offer you a £10,000 tuition fee deduction from our standard postgraduate fee, which is only £17,900. So if you were to be successful in being in receipt of that great scholarship, you're going to be paying under £8,000 for your tuition. What's nice about our university is that we are the most affordable university in the UK as ranked by the Times. That takes into consideration your social spending, your accommodation spend, and your tuition fees. If you were unsuccessful in your application for the Great Scholarship, please don't worry. We do have a range of automatic scholarships that apply to students from Mexico. So we do have our international bursary and our country-specific scholarship. That's a deduction of £3,500 from your tuition fee. So still reducing your overall postgraduate tuition for 1 year to just around £14,400. So we still feel that we're at a very good price point with the academic opportunity and the kind of social and living opportunity to really support you in your goals. Our accommodation, as already mentioned to you, is all on campus. One of the additional things I wanted to mention is you would be guaranteed a room as a brand new international student to our Preston campus. And we have a range of different options from our shared bathroom facilities right up to our premium ensuite rooms. What I want to mention to you today is that your bedroom is still going to be private. We don't have shared bedroom facilities. You will always have a private bedroom and a different range of opportunities, whether it's to have shared bathrooms right up to ensuite. The shared bathroom, though, is still a kind of a private bathroom. It's not a shower block with multiple bathrooms and you're all in there together. It is still a private facility that you can go into, have a bath or a shower, lock the door, and still have that private space. To help you with affordability, all of your bills in your accommodation block, regardless of the accommodation block, are included in the rental fee. So our rental prices start from £85 per week. That is inclusive of your water, gas, electricity, and your Wi-Fi. It's only then your social spend and your food spend that you need to consider on top of that. When it comes to courses, I mentioned before that we're home to 10 academic schools. Obviously, couldn't possibly tell you about every single program, but I think what we do have is a huge range of interdisciplinary study, whether you're considering arts and media, where we have fine art, children's illustration, ceramics, fashion design, interior design, whether you're wanting to do sports media production, whether you're wanting to do film and TV production, they're all contained within that school. Our School of Business with its MBA program, which is very popular for international students, but also our hospitality and events management degrees. Engineering has a range of programs that cover almost, I think, every engineering specialty, from construction, project management and civil engineering, right through to our robotics, our artificial intelligence, our cybersecurity, and our brand new suite in collaboration with British Aerospace of uncrewed aerial systems degree. So this is if you want to go into the realm of drone piloting, drone flying, and that kind of new realm of security provision. We then have health, social work, and sport, which is again multidisciplinary across things like international social work, public health, our football studies, our performance analysis degrees, our law and policing with its forensic science and crime scene investigation, medicine and dentistry with dental therapy, with our physician associates degree, our nursing and midwifery programs, our biomedical sciences degrees, including things like pharmacology, pharmaceuticals, psychology with its clinical, forensic, neuroscience and child psychology, or humanities with things like international relations and modern foreign languages, or teaching English as a second language, and then our School of Veterinary Medicine with our postgraduate programs in veterinary physiotherapy, which is a very unique, very niche opportunity for you within that school. So in terms of applying, obviously, Lizzie's mentioned that all of the details are on the website, but very simply for us, we'd need to see your undergraduate academic transcript, whether you have already achieved that or whether you're in the process of achieving that. And we would accept your titulo, your licenciado, of a minimum of 7 or 70%. And an IELTS, our minimum requirement for postgraduate study is IELTS 6 with no component below a 5.5. We do accept many other English tests, including TOEFL, Pearson, and we also offer, should you be unable to achieve any of those, our own online English test for all applicants to the university, which is free of charge. We then expect a personal statement, which again, when you are filling in your Great Scholarship application, we'll ask for your appropriate consideration for the scholarship. So you can indicate that in your personal statement, your references and a resume. If you're applying to any of our arts programs, so things like, for example, in Latin America, our children's illustration masters has become very, very popular. We would require a portfolio of your work, which just has to be submitted as a link or a PDF file. We don't need to interview you for that program. The tutors will review your portfolio and provide a decision to you in that manner. do feel free to check out our website. We do have a dedicated page for students from Mexico, which has the entry requirements, the English language requirements, and our Great Scholarship information and the application form for that. If you want to get in touch with myself, my email details are here on the page. I'm the regional manager for the Americas, so more than happy to chat to you individually. And thank you ever so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you, everybody. So we can pass now to Anna Frankel from the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in Glasgow.
Amazing, thank you. I just have to figure out how to share my screen. 1 second. There we go. That looks like it. Fantastic, amazing. And then, oh, 1 second. There we go. Perfect. Nice. So yeah, I'm Anna. I'm from the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. I think we're an excellent company here with all of the other universities, but we are a little bit different. We are a conservatoire. We are a performing arts institution, which means that we educate musicians, we educate actors, production artists, filmmakers. And to visualize that a little bit for you, I have prepared a little clip, and then afterwards I would like to tell you a little bit more about the courses we offer and the application process, because it is a little bit different than your academic universities. I hope that works. Production artists, we want them to be on the stages of the world, and that is what the education aims towards as well. Our students benefit from working with professional industries and professional artists as well. Many of the lecturing staff are still working in the industry, and that means that they are really well equipped to educate our students to the standard of the industry and make sure that they are super well equipped to go into the industry and hit the ground running as well. For us, employability is really important as well. Working in the artistic industries can be really challenging, definitely, but we want to prepare them well for that by having collaborations with many of Scotland's biggest institutions, such as the BBC Scotland Studios, the STV Studios, the National Theatre of Scotland, and the Royal, I always mess this one up, the Royal National Orchestra of Scotland. So yeah, there's many professional links with the industry as well that our students really benefit from. The RCS is also one of the top 10 performing arts institutions worldwide over the last 10 years, according to the QS ranking. And you might know some of our graduates. They include James McAvoy, David Tennant, Nshuti Gatwa, Sam Hewen, Alan Cumming. They all studied at the RCS, as well as many famous musicians. I'm from the drama side, so I'm always a little bit biased towards our actors and our artists. But yeah, we do have a long list of really successful graduates coming from RCS and producing excellence in the industry as well. I'm going to talk a little bit more about our two different schools. So the first one is the School of Music, and at a postgraduate level, we offer two different things. The M.Mas, which is a 2-year degree course, but I think the M.A., the Masters of Arts, the 1-year degree course, is more applicable to the Great Scholarship. We offer performance, that is all of your classical instruments, so that is your strings, your woodwind, your brass, your keyboard, and all of the other ones, as well as composition, conducting, jazz, traditional Scottish music, in case you want to play the bagpipes, performance and pedagogy, piano for dance, accompaniment, and the big word, repetitorship. The deadline for us is quite different than usual universities. The deadline has already passed for music, but please don't worry. If you're still interested in applying, feel free to reach out to me or our team, and we can then check if that instrument or that department is still taking late applications. And there are still a couple that are still open as well, so that's no problem. For the School of Stage and Screen, we offer a variety of postgraduate studies. We have the MA in Musical Theatre Directing. So for those who want to become musical theatre directors, they work closely with our undergraduate students to prepare them as well. It's a really interesting working environment and really collaborative. We also are introducing a new program, the MA or MFA in Production. They are the ones who do the set design, who do the lighting, the tech for the MA in classical and contemporary text, who are then putting on the productions as well. So the MA, MFA in classical contemporary text, we always use abbreviations, so saying it out loud is sometimes quite difficult. And we offer it in acting, so for those who want to become actors, and we offer it in directing. They work really closely together. The actors are working with the directors, and I really love the MA in CCT. I'm just going to call it CCT because it's a really international cohort, and it's a really international staff as well. So for example, Rogelio, he is Mexican himself. Leonor is from Peru as well. So if you're interested in these courses and you want to speak to someone more closely, do get in touch, and I'd be happy to facilitate a chat with Rogelio as well. The good thing about the drama postgraduate courses is that the deadline is not until the 31st of March. So you still got a lot of time to do your research and to look into it. My advice in general is that if you consider studying a performing arts degree in the UK, have a look and do your research. There are many excellent institutions across the UK. We are the only one up in Scotland that offers that level of study at that level, if that makes sense. The only conservatoire in Scotland, basically, which puts us in a really unique position. We don't have to compete with all of the other institutions. We can be really picky, making sure that the opportunities that we get from the industry are the right ones for you and your learning as well. But yeah, do your research because they're all slightly different. And at the end of the day, we really believe that it's your education, it's your future, it's your finances. So do your research and figure out which one is the right one for you at the end of the day. As I said, we value performances, we value practice, we want you to be artists afterwards, and that means that we have to make sure you will be on stage throughout your studies. With 500 performances each year, we are one of the biggest producing houses in Scotland, and that's because everyone needs to be on stage. We have the opera students, we have the musical theatre, we have the ballet showcase, which is the highlight of my year, to be honest. It's just beautiful. And the actors have up to 4 performances each year. We've got the orchestra, the woodwind, the jazz. They all need to be on stage, and most of the productions are open to the public as well. So it's not like you're just performing for your peers. You are actually performing for the paying public as well. And that puts you in a really good position to go into the industry and feel like, yeah, I've already done that for the last 3 years. I know what to expect from it as well. Our campus is quite small, but it's laid out for the performing arts. So at our Renfrew Street campus, on the photo, you can see our orchestra hall. In that campus, we also have a 340-seater theatre over 3 floors. We also have a studio theatre and 2 smaller music venues as well. We have 3 recording studios at the RCS, 2 film recording studios as well. So it is very much laid out to the arts, and all of the equipment we use is of the highest spec. I once heard the last batch of cameras that we had for our filmmakers, we were on the waiting list because Martin Scorsese needed them first. But yeah, for us, it's important that you have the equipment that the industry has because you're going into the industry at the end of the day. There's a virtual tour available on the website as well. So if you follow the link or just Google RCS virtual tour, it shows you exactly what it looks like on the inside as well. As I mentioned, applying to the Conservatoire is slightly different than applying to university. So I want to tell you a little bit more about the process behind that. So when it comes to entrance requirement, we traditionally at a postgraduate level ask for an undergraduate degree. And if English is not your first language, you would have to provide a language test. Our preferred one is IELTS, but we also accept TOEFL, Cambridge Advanced English exam as well as others. There's a list on the website that tells you exactly what we accept and what the required scores are. So I think for music, the score is the IELTS typical 6.0, but for the drama courses, it's a little bit higher because it's a very text-heavy course, and we need to make sure that the students have the right language skills for that as well. We also accept students who might not have an undergraduate degree. We know that we're dealing with artists. They often don't follow the traditional academic route, and that's absolutely fine by us. We do value lived experience and industry experience just as much as an undergraduate degree as well. Every program has slightly different requirements, so do your research, go onto the website and check it out. When it comes to actually applying, we are on UCAS Conservatoire. So in the UK, you've got UCAS, which is the main hub for making university applications. And then you've got UCAS Conservatoire. It's a smaller side branch where you can apply to universities or conservatoires in the performing arts field. That is us, that is the Royal Academy, that's the Royal... that's RADA, I think, as well. So there's many conservatoires that are on UCAS Conservatoire, and it allows you to track all of those applications separately to university applications. There is a user fee, and we ask for an assessment fee as well. Everyone who applies on time is guaranteed an audition. We very much use the audition system just so that we get to know you as an applicant, and that we get to know your playing skills on your instrument, or your acting skills, or your filming skills, or your production skills, your creative. We want to know your creative brain with the audition process, basically. My advice is to do your research. I know I keep going on about that, but every program is slightly different. And just because our acting program asks for 2 contrasting monologues, that doesn't mean that another conservatoire in the UK is asking for the same. The more prepared you approach an audition, the more benefits you get from it, and the better experience you have as well. So do your research, look up the website, and please do ask us questions. We do acknowledge it is very different than your university. We want to make sure that everyone has a positive audition experience, that you get something out of it. So do get in touch and ask us all of the questions, because I much rather you ask me one time too many than one time too little, and that might be the make or break for your application as well. So please do get in touch as well. We do use audition recordings as well. So if you're unable to travel to the UK to our Glasgow or London auditions, you can just submit an audition recording. And we've been doing it long before COVID. We have a lot of experience doing online auditions and reviewing audition recordings. You would not be placed at a disadvantage for choosing that option. So please don't worry about that. And we've got a lot of helpful videos on how to prepare your audition recordings as well. Nice. So now that the boring stuff is out of the way, I want to tell you a little bit more about Glasgow. So all of my colleagues helpfully had that amazing map of the UK, which I totally missed the trick on. So Glasgow is to the left of Edinburgh, if you look at it like that. So we're in the central belt of Scotland, that's what it's called. And Glasgow is Scotland's largest city. So Edinburgh is the capital, Glasgow is the largest city. We have a huge student population, and that is because there are 5 universities here in Glasgow, which means you have a lot of international students, a lot of different cultures, a lot of good opportunities to have a really good night out, different cuisines as well, so a lot of variety. And we always say there's not one night which is the same in Glasgow, and everyone is super friendly. I am international myself. I'm from Germany originally, and the Glaswegians, the Ouija's, have been so kind to me, and they're always super helpful. If you ever need help on a night out, or if you need to find directions, they're always there to lend a helping hand and an open ear to you as well, which is fantastic. A lot of people think that Scotland is really far away. I believe Aberdeen can attest to that. We hear it all the time that we're so far away. I want to be in London, which is a good point, but we are also really well connected. So you can be in Edinburgh in an hour on the train. You can be in London in 4.5 hours. You can also fly down there in an hour. And we've got 2 airports here. So you can be in Europe. I fly home 4 times a year to Germany, and it takes me door to door 5 hours, which is really doable with a plane and a train journey as well. It's also a very affordable city. So I believe the way you spend your money as a student has a huge impact on your experience. And all of the other amazing conservatoires are mainly down in London. And London is a beautiful city. It's a really exciting city, but it's also a very expensive city. The cost of living up in Glasgow is much lower, and it has an impact on your studies at the end of the day if you can go out for lunch or dinner rather than staying in, because it's getting a bit low at the end of the month. So yeah, it's a good place to be a student, 100%. When it comes to student life, as I said, we have a huge live music scene. We've got a huge art scene as well. There's a lot of festivals going on. RCS was really important in shaping many of these festivals. So you've got the Glasgow Film Festival, we've got the Book Festival, Celtic Connections, we've got the Jazz Festival, Plugged In Festival for composition. So there's a lot going on here. And we also have a very active student union. We're really small. We have round about 1,500 students, so we're not really big, but we do have a really active student union who offer events and clubs and societies as well. We always say that if we don't offer a club, if we don't have the right society for you, just found it. Find people, put up posters and create it yourself, and you'll always find people to join you 100%. Or you can also join one of the bigger university society. I think we have some agreement with Strathclyde University so that you can join their societies. I know that the University of Glasgow has a Shrek Society and a SpongeBob Society. So there's definitely options out there, I would say. And our students also benefit from a very dedicated disability welfare and counseling service. So we know that we're dealing with artists. Artists don't think in a straight line, and we think that is beautiful, and we think that should be celebrated. But because of that, for us, it's really important that we put the support for you in place. Whether you need support in your studies, or maybe you just need someone to talk to, we are really well equipped for that as well, and to make sure that you excel, because we're such a small community and every single student for us counts, and we want to see you flourish throughout your studies at the end of the day. When it comes to student accommodation, we have a really good partnership with BASE. BASE is just 3 minutes from our main campus away, and it's completely booked out by RCS students. Apparently, it can get really wild in there at times, because sometimes they just get together and start playing music or putting up a gig or having a rooftop concert. BASE also has a cinema room. They've got a laundry, a gym. That's not what I had when I was a first year, I can tell you that much. But yeah, they're really well equipped for the arts. They also have a dancing studio for our ballet dancers, and they do have practice rooms for our music students as well. There's a wee QR code at the bottom there that if you scan it, you get more information about BASE as well. We have a priority system for our students. So if you are a first year, you have high priority for a room at BASE. If you come from outside of Glasgow, which all of you would be, that priority goes up again. We also find that many of our students do get into flat shares. Our Facebook Freshers group is a huge housing bazaar over the summer, where students say, hey, I'm moving out of my flat. I'm looking for another tenant, or my flatmate is leaving. Anybody up for bunking with me and stuff as well? I've heard of a mystical RCS flat that has a steam room and a sauna, and it's been an RCS hand for the last 10 years. So yeah, there's definitely good housing opportunities across Glasgow as well, just because it's such a student city. And yeah, that kind of concludes my presentation about the RCS. If you have any questions, the email address is hello@rcs.ac.uk. We're a really small team of 3 people, so you have a very high likelihood of speaking with me. And if I can't give you the answers to any of your questions, I will get you in touch with someone who can. If you want to speak to a student, if you want to speak to a lecturer, just let us know, and we would be more than happy to facilitate that as well. So
Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you so much. And finally, we have Patrick from the University of Bath.
Hi, everybody, and it's really, really great to meet you all. I'm Firstly, the first thing I'm going to say, apologies for having my camera off for the whole of this session. I'm on a train back from London at the moment, and my train was delayed. So I've stopped off in Bristol Parkway Station, which is where I'm delivering this presentation from. So if there's any background noise or anything, my apologies. I'm very conscious of time, so I'm probably going to, I know there will be quite a few questions coming through as well. Let me just share my screen. Has that worked? I've had, no, here we go. I'm sorry. Okay, I think that should have worked now, but let me know if
Yes, that's
if any
working.
problems. Fantastic, thank you. So yeah, I work for the University of Bath. We're located in the southwest of England, about an hour and a half away from London. And I think given the amount of time I have left, I'll just briefly focus on three of the things that we're really, really proud of at Bath. So one is our ranking and our reputation as a research-led, high-quality UK university. The other is the extent of our links with employers, with industry, and with the opportunities in terms of things like placements, internships that are available to our students. And the third is the student life and the kind of student lifestyle that we offer to our students at Bath. So to begin with rankings, we're proud to say that we're a triple top 10 university. The kind of three rankings tables that are used particularly closely by UK students, we come out in the top 10 in. So the Complete University Guide, the most recent, the 2025 edition of that, we came out at 8th in the UK. We came out at 6th in the Guardian University Guide in 2004 and 8th in the UK in the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide. Again, the most recent one was in 2024. We're also proud to say that we came 5th in graduate prospects with 91% of our graduates in high skilled employment in the most recent graduate outcomes survey, and the fact that for student experience, again, we came 4th in the UK in the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide most recently. So we are very proud of our ranking. We're proud to be ranked in the top 150 universities in the world and to have 6 of our subject areas in the top 100 in the world as well. We're predominantly an undergraduate university, although we're hoping to be able to grow our postgraduate numbers a little bit. And that's why one of the reasons we're so proud to have the great scholarships. The university in general has tended to be focused towards undergraduate students, but research is a big part of what we do as well as master's programs. And I think our international numbers in particular are starting to grow. So we do have around 5,000 postgraduate taught students. We have around 20,000 students overall. So we're not a huge university, but we're by no means a small one either. Our students come from all over the world. A third of our students come from outside the UK, predominantly from India, but also from Taiwan, from Spain, Italy, France. These are our kind of largest recruitment areas that we get students from, but genuinely over 160 nationalities. And I know this will be the case for colleagues from the other UK universities on the panel as well today. We truly are a global university. And we are pretty comprehensive in terms of what we offer. There's a few things we don't offer. We don't have a medical school at Bath. We don't have a law school, but we're very, very good, particularly on STEM programs, science, technology, engineering. We have a very strong Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and we're very well ranked for things like psychology. Also within engineering and design, we have a great deal of, we have a very good reputation for things like architecture, civil engineering, and our management school has a really comprehensive range of programs, including things like accounting and finance, marketing, business, strategy, logistics, and those sorts of areas as well. So there's a little bit of information here on our subject rankings. I won't talk about those too much now because, again, I want to be sure to allow enough time for questions. But we're proud of the way we're ranked across the piece, really, for at the university level, but also at that subject level. And we're also really proud of the connections that we have with the real world, as it were. So all of our undergraduate programs, and we say some here, it's a vast majority of our postgraduate programs, offer either the opportunity for professional work placement or a study abroad opportunity, usually of 1 year's length. It can vary from program to program, but even if there is not a kind of formal or official placement, there are lots of opportunities for students to do kind of real world industry or business projects as part of the work that they do. And we have dedicated support teams across the university for that. So yes, we have a central kind of career support team, as I know all of my colleagues from the other UK universities will have at their institutions as well. And we also have, you know, things like faculty and department level teams as well, particularly on our management school, which has a real focus on careers and on employability. I've only been with the University of Bath for about a year, and it's one of the things that really struck me when I joined the university. I had no idea of how ingrained these connections were, and it is something that that we're really, really proud of. So our students do go on to great things. You know, we have fantastic work placements. It allows students to put knowledge into practice, gain transferable skills, kind of feel their way in the world of work and try out certain career paths, and improve their graduate prospects. You know, again, I'm sure I can speak for everybody on this panel in saying that when our students get that real world experience, it really does benefit them both professionally but also personally as well, and in terms of their profile in the employment market when they complete their program and go on to graduate. So some examples of employers that have either provided placements or that have recruited our students across our faculties. I should probably have mentioned earlier, we have a Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, we have a Faculty of Engineering and Design, we have a Faculty of Science, and we have a School of Management as well. And I won't talk through all of these, but these are, you know, some good examples of the employers that are recruiting our students or that are working with us on things like placements or practice track assessments. So very briefly on this, you know, some examples of that type of real world experience. So through the Students' Union, we offer opportunities for students to enhance their employability through volunteering, clubs, societies. We offer students the opportunity to start their own businesses, to get involved in entrepreneurial activities and network with other possible contacts or partners. Part-time working, you know, as I think one of my colleagues mentioned, you know, students studying in the UK have the opportunity to work part-time. Usually, I think it's 20 hours per week during term time and 40 hours per week during university vacation time. Get those kind of internships and placements that can really, really help you source those work opportunities and ultimately get those graduate jobs, whether they be in the UK or overseas. You know, it really is, we really do emphasize the importance of burnishing your CV and going on to great opportunities in the world of work. So 92% of our students enter high skilled employment within 15 months of graduating. The third and final thing I wanted to talk about very briefly was the student life, or is the student life at Bath. Bath is a beautiful place. Our campus is very clean and green, has a very natural feel. It's actually on a hill which overlooks the city of Bath, and I'll briefly speak about the city itself in a moment. It truly is one of the most beautiful spots in the UK, and we have amazing facilities on our campus. You know, new accommodation has been developed. We have an amazing new home for our School of Psychology, or Department of Psychology, and our School of Management as well. We have the Olympic Legacy swimming pool, and we have sport is a big part of what we do at Bath. We have an amazing sports village, which all of our students have access to as well. Brilliant accommodation. Again, much like many of the other universities who've spoken about their accommodation options, you know, we really do have a phenomenal range of accommodation at Bath, all kinds of opportunities. You know, if you want to save a bit of money, there are some cheaper options that might have shared bathrooms, etc. And then we have the higher end options as well, located both on campus and within the city of Bath as well. And we have a, you know, again, at the postgraduate level, which I know is where most of you guys will be focusing, we have really, really good opportunities. I think lots of our postgraduate students will choose, we have postgraduate options on campus, but many will choose to stay in the city of Bath as well. And I'll come to what an amazing place that is to stay into. So again, like many UK universities, we have really, really high quality student support. Our students tend to report back very highly and to rate us very highly in this area. We usually score in recent national student scores, you know, the assessments that they do of students. We tend, sorry, national student satisfaction surveys, we tend to score very, very highly, and particularly on these measures around student support, mental health support, financial advice, disability support, etc. So we're very proud of that. And we're very proud of our Students' Union, which is one of the most vibrant and active around, really. You know, as others have mentioned, the Students' Union provides support and representation to students, also provides a social hub, provides a home for societies, campaign groups, cultural societies, and generally is the you know, the home of some of the many sort of student clubs and student societies that we offer. A few examples are listed here. So I mentioned sport, and I will finish up in a moment because I know we need to have time for questions and answers, but there is some information here on our amazing sports training village. Really mind-blowingly good facilities. We're right up there with the very best in the UK for sports facilities. You don't have to be into sport to come and study at Bath. It's not a prerequisite at all, but many of our students are, and even those that aren't, that just like to play sport recreationally, have the opportunity to do so at the university. We were awarded 17 Olympic and Paralympic medals at the 2024 Paris Games. There was a stat that I don't think I haven't seen the updated version, but it was along the lines of, if the university was a country, we would be something like 15th in the medals table. We do phenomenally well in terms of the sporting achievements of our students and also our alumni. We also are well known for our arts and creativity, which is interesting because we tend to be quite a STEM focused or management focused university, but we do have a wonderful arts centre on campus, and that kind of, I guess, fits with Bath itself, which is a magnificent city. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the entire city. It's a beautiful place. The Roman Baths is the image that you can see here. History, the sense of place and the sense of being somewhere significant is there the whole time. It's safe, it's clean, it's a wonderful place to spend time. The image you see here is the Royal Crescent, which is a magnificent and very well visited area. The university itself is not in the city. It's on a hill which overlooks the city of Bath. We're about 10 minutes away by bus, and students will generally either live on campus or live in the city of Bath. We're also pleased to say we were rated the second safest university city in England and Wales in the 2024 Complete University Guide, and we're very sort of proud of that. It does feel like a very safe, clean, and green city to spend time in. I'm going to finish up. I'm conscious we're coming towards the end of today's session. So thank you all for listening. I'm very happy to answer any questions that you may have, as I know my colleagues from other UK universities will be too.
Thank you so much, Patrick. We do have one question that has been kind of repeating, and I would like to ask all the representatives whether there are people that are finishing their degree in this semester, so pretty much May, June, and they are asking whether they could apply if they still don't have the degree granted by the university, but they have finished the academic credits.
I think as I'm off mute, I'll very briefly answer, but I know colleagues will want to pitch in as well. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you can apply and get a conditional offer, and very often the condition will be, you know, the completion of achievement of a particular grade in your degree. You know, it might also include things like English language requirements as well. But yes, don't let not having your qualification hold you off applying. I'll allow others to chip in on that as well.
Yeah, I second that as well. So we would then offer you a conditional offer, and the condition would be the successful completion of your undergraduate degree. And we are personally really flexible with the deadlines as well. We usually set it to the end of August because we know you might need a little bit longer to complete your degree. And if you feel like you need a bit longer to provide us with the certificate, then just communicate with us and let us know so that we can update our records. So we're really flexible with that.
For Aberdeen, if you're applying for the scholarship, for this great scholarship, then you have to have an unconditional offer by the middle of May. But if you're applying to come to the university without the great scholarship, then we'll be, like the others, as flexible as possible, and you can apply more or less any time, provided you can get your visa to start in September when the new year starts.
Yeah, so for Hull, it's the same as most others. You can apply for the scholarship with a conditional offer, and then you have until usually around the end of July, August to submit your final certificate to get your unconditional offer. But yeah, absolutely no problem to apply for the scholarship before you finish your degree.
And University of Central Lancashire, exactly the same. You just have to be holding an offer, so that could be an unconditional or it could be a conditional offer. As long as that application has been received by us before the 31st of May, that's our Great Scholarship deadline. We then obviously will review that and issue the decision on who will receive the Great Scholarship, but you then have up until, I think for us, it's the middle to end of August for completing the final processes of your conditions and your deposit payments, etc. That would all be explained to you in the conditions of your offer.
Thank you so much. So I think then the next question I can answer partly. So I would probably ask if there is anything different from the universities that are present here. Many of them are asking about the English requirement. So the English requirement, please, varies by university. So many of them will offer or will actually accept different exams. So it's not necessarily that you have IELTS. So my recommendation is approach them. So they may accept any other exam that you may have. And it is something that you need to show before a conditional offer is issued to you. So you do need to meet the English requirement because that is part of the processes of each university. One person was asking if it was possible to apply without the English requirement and whether they can meet that a bit later. So if anybody could you expand on that? That would be great.
Yes. So for us, it is definitely possible. We would then again just make it part of your conditions. So we understand for us that the tests can be quite costly, they can be quite stressful. So only if you have a guaranteed offer, it will be a conditional offer, would we ask you to provide us with your English language results. And that is for us IELTS, TOEFL, CAE as well. And we give you quite a generous deadline. So for example, if you apply for music, the deadline would be at the end of May, and for drama, it's usually the end of August again to provide the evidence of the language test. It's always part of the condition, and you don't have to do it beforehand.
Same for Aberdeen. We are prepared to make conditional offers until somebody is able to prove their English ability, and we have a whole host of different tests. Some are online that we will accept.
Thank you so much. So I think that's the case for most of the universities. So I have answered. Something else that I would like to add, and I think it was Joe who mentioned at the beginning, is you're very lucky that in this year for the Great Scholarships, we only have one university in London, which will actually be presenting the next webinar on the 5th of March. Why I say this is because staying outside London, and I know that London is usually the preferred destination for students that go to the UK, But studying outside London usually offers lower cost of living, including more affordable housing, everyday expenses. Students also benefit from a stronger sense of community. So that is also something that I would like to emphasize. I studied there myself. And trust me, you have less crowded environments sometimes by choosing a university that is outside London. You have a better balance also between city life and green spaces. Many of the universities that presented today have excellent academic and career opportunities. So this is something that it will always be available to you, obviously with a lower tuition fee and better scholarships also than most of the universities in London. Most of the cities that were present here will also offer strong local economies, a lot of growing job markets, the industry links that were mentioned by some of the universities, like at the end in Bath with Patrick. So additionally, something else that I would like to basically expand on is the UK compared to other countries, for example, where you study for 2 years a master's degree is relatively cheaper, because that allows you to, one, graduate sooner and then enter the job market also sooner. And a lot of the countries are now taking away the stay in the UK after. So the UK still has the postgraduate offer for you to stay in the UK to get a job. And really, this scholarship is not exclusive. That is something else that we want to emphasize. So if you're offered the great scholarship, you can combine it. So this is not, it's just a 10,000 scholarship and I'm not allowed to pull money from everywhere else. I mean, you can apply to other scholarships. In the case of Mexico, FUNED, FIDER, CONACYT, etc., etc. So it's something else that you can consider. And most of the times the universities will have also certain help available to either lower those tuition fees or give you additional support. So thank you very much. I would like to thank everybody from the universities that were here. Thank you for all the attendees for your time. We remind you, we have a second webinar on the 5th of March. We will have the University of Nottingham, the University of Glasgow, Newcastle, St Andrews, Southampton, and Roehampton. So those will be the universities that will be present. Stirling could not make it today, so we will be able to see if they can present on the 5th for anybody that was interested in Stirling. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all the university representatives. And any questions, I have shared already the contacts of most of the university people that were presenting today. My contact is there. Lovely, and we would love to see lots of applications for great scholarships in Mexico. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks all.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.